Okay. Hello, it's me, Brian Johnson here, reporting from Metro Park, St. Clair, Michigan. And we are gonna go try for some smallmouth. I just got back to Canada from Florida, and yeah, I was like, the weather kind of sucks here. Still ice on the lakes and still snow. So I figured I'd drop my brother off at Marine City and then bring my boat. I went walleye fishing yesterday on St. Clair River. I sucked. Everybody else seems like they're catching fish. It's not the walleye fishing I'm used to, vertical jigging. I probably had about 150 of them come up and sniff my bait, which was very frustrating. But here we are. We're gonna go try for some smallmouth, like I said. If that sucks, we're gonna go for largemouth. So we're gonna go down to the Miles Road. I don't think fish are gonna be on beds. I did bring the big fucking, this thing. Highly doubt they're on beds, but you never know. But we're gonna go try smallmouth first and go from there. I don't think the smallmouth are gonna be spawning. I think they're gonna be pretty close. I think they're definitely gonna be on, like, kind of just setting up, getting up pretty shallow. See if we can get a big bag of smallmouth. So I realized that this video is gonna be pretty boring, just because I don't really say much in it. But that's me taking a pee. I had to pee really bad because I couldn't pee in the park there. So yeah, I blasted off to this little hump. I've been here about 2 years ago, and I obviously see this big blob. I was just like, what is this? And I hooked myself a muskie right in the back. I was like, oh god, this again. This was like my third cast. I said it was my first cast, but it's really not. Of course, my first cast would be a giant muskie. Oh my god. I hooked him in the back. It's not even in the mouth. It's just like, I was like, what am I stuck on? He's a big one. Come on, bud. I just want to get my jerkbait out of your back. Yeah, he's a tank. He was actually a fairly big muskie. He actually had a lamprey on his back, and obviously he had another sore there where another one was. Pretty pumped here. Didn't bend my hooks out, but there was definitely some scales from the muskie. Anyways, I moved the boat, and here I am casting a jerkbait. This is some rocks and stuff I marked like 2 years ago on the Miles Road. Everybody else was on like bed fishing because the water was so clear, but there was about like 150 boats, and I just wasn't interested in being in that crowd. You see me, I'm using this jerkbait. It's about a Vision 110 +1. When they got close to the boat there, I would do an upstroke just to change the cadence. First smallmouth, pretty pumped on that. I was like, hell yeah, brother. First smallmouth of 2025. You know, catching largemouth all in Florida. It's nice to change something, make something different. I can't speak sometimes, but I'm just gonna leave it unedited because I am dumb. Also, screw a net. I like to risk it for the biscuit and get a reverse barb hook in my hand, which I don't do here because I'm a guide, right? That's what I tell my clients. I don't need a net, I'm a guide. So people get a good laugh at that. Look at that little chonker. He's pretty cute. They were all fat. Definitely moving up to spawn. Me just doing some social media stuff because I'm stupid. I gotta advertise. I just want everybody to know that I'm fishing, you know, and everybody else is working. And here I am in St. Clair. Look at that. Oh, I might have been sending that to someone. Yeah, I gotta cut this part out. So I obviously trimmed like 15 seconds, so it just wasn't just silence. Pretty pumped. First smallmouth, sharing it. Throwing a tube here. This one hit right by the boat. I was like, what the hell? And ironically,
I'll take a walleye.
it was my first walleye after spending 12 hours on the St. Clair River and not catching a single walleye. I was hoping I could get a couple more, so got this on a tube, the old Great Lakes Finesse Juvie Craw. Great tube. I love the 2 heads. I use a lot of 2.5 inch, especially back at home. I put this guy in the well. I was hoping that I can get at least 3 or 4 I could take home to fillet. I think your limit's of 6 on St. Clair, but he ended up going back. What am I doing here? This is my first reaction of just putting this all together, so this is all raw, dude. Just me talking a lot of shit. Oh my god, look at that hook set. Isn't that great? I think this is another tube. No, this was... I can see my tube rod. I was using a Ned rig, and I made a little black skirt, and then I used a little black accent
Good one.
little Super Trooper by Berkeley. It's just a little craw, but I figured that the water's so dirty, I'd just throw something a little bit more dark. And obviously, I caught 1 fish on it. I wish I was a little bit more like, hey guys, talking into the mic because I'm filming content creation, but I'm just like in my own little world. So I think this is kind of a good take of me just talking shit, watching, literally reviewing my own stuff. Just me doing more video. I gotta edit this out because it's just cut down the time. Nobody has time for this. Yeah,
Nice
see,
3.5 pounder.
I think it was, bud. Hooray. But yeah, editing videos, I say a lot of
So, water's
What am I gonna
dirty here on the Miles Road. Still lots of boats.
look at me
but
being
you can still pick
informational.
off a couple here and there. Still lots of fish roaming around. But I find if you can find a piece of structure,
Uh-huh.
like a rock or something where you can throw this tube up against. I got
Right.
one on a jerkbait earlier.
I saw that.
Again, like the water's so gross.
It looks pretty gross, bud.
I thought I brought the scope, the telescope flogger, seeing if I could really get one on beds and stuff if I can find them, but
Yep, that didn't happen at all, Brian. But
one walleye, which is nice.
yum. But it went back. Yeah, I brought the flogger,
There's
even though we don't
right there.
really smallmouth like bedfish up in Canada because our spawning season's so short. It's like one and done, unless you're on like the St. Lawrence River or Lake Simcoe. I think with big, deep Great Lake water stuff with gobies, they seem to spawn really late in June. Sometimes I've seen them in August on Simcoe, which was strange. Is this me throwing a jerkbait again? The rod I'm using is actually a crankbait rod. It's a dial cage. It's one of the new ones. But
I found it was just a great action to whip your stuff out, and just nice to literally work your bait. It feels like a medium light, but it says a medium. I don't know. I don't really go by that. I just usually, when I'm buying a rod, you just kind of put it on the ground. Like, put a hat on the ground or a piece of something so you're not scratching the tip of the rod off the floor, but then you can kind of test, compare it with other rods. It's not as exciting what you see here compared to like the last video of largemouth fishing, where it's just like boom, bang, and done. Like, you're just kind of fighting a smallmouth. I should get more excited and just really pump up about catching this. What is it? Come on, get the goddamn fish, Brian. If I had a net. Oh, I should edit this out, but let's leave it. You know what? Let's just leave it raw and organic.
They are chonky.
They are. Like, some of the fish I caught, like, the lips were so swollen. It's like, boy, you've been eating. Yeah, getting pumped on a 2-pounder. More like a 2.5. Neat. I'm just looking. I was probably the only boat going up and down this ridge. Everybody was kind of stationary and just like either power pulled down or just sitting in one spot, dragging stuff. And that's not my kind of fishing. I like moving around. I think I was the only person throwing a jerkbait. Look, I get all excited. Changed my cadence there, went on an upstroke. Oh yeah, look at that rod bend, bud.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. You see, I'm wearing my track pants. I was wearing shorts under this, and I thought I was gonna be really like 26 degrees, but I haven't climatized yet. I'm just a little bitch. Cold. There's my dog. Hey, Tom. He's a good boy. He's a great co-angler. Make sure he's cold. He's good. I do have an umbrella if it gets too hot. I do make stops for him to pee. Obviously, we're way out in the middle of the lake, but come on, Brian, get the goddamn fish. There you go. About a 3.5 pounder. Just not showing the camera. Forgetting about you guys. Yeah. After catching big largemouth, these fish look small. Look, more social media stuff. I better cut this stuff out. Oh boy. Just dead film. Imagine I wasn't talking to make this exciting. You'd be like, God, this guy is just super boring and dumb. Look at it. That's like a 10-second pose. This is what happens every time you see a photo of me. There's like a 10-second of me just standing still. How organic. You saw I had a crankbait there. I didn't throw that. I threw it once and got caught in a bunch of gunk. You can kind of see the boats all around me. Upstroke. I do an upstroke as it gets closer to the boat. Just a wee little guy here. I do an upstroke just to kind of so it doesn't dig itself into the ground, and I feel like it just changes it a little bit. I throw a lot of jerkbait now on fluorocarbon. Used to throw it on spinning rods for the longest time, but with fluorocarbon I can get a +2 down to like 25 feet of water. I've done it for lake trout last year, which was super fun. Gotta have a lot of patience. Like, stupid amount of patience, and they can't move. But that's like September. They're kind of like staging to spawn at the end of mostly they close on September 30th, but they were definitely staging in big pods. Can't wait to show you guys this year on that, because it's a really fun bite. Did 2 guides on it last year. Whacked a bunch of lake trout. I think the biggest was like probably 8 pounds, 6 pounds. We don't get giant ones like some people see, but they are here somewhere. See, upstrokes, upstroke. Now you see this boat to the left of me. After I caught this fish behind them, the guy immediately went to his rod locker and started throwing a jerkbait around. But that only lasted like 30 seconds, and he went back to throwing a tube. Oh my god, I'm using my net finally. Tom dog just sitting there. At this point, my back is really hurting. Look at this. I catch this nice fish. Don't even show the camera. Just throw it back. Like, what an idiot. Like, Brian, you bought this wireless microphone in this nice 360 camera, which has got shit on the lens. Oh, caught another one. But yeah, that guy was only threw his jerkbait for like 30 seconds and went back to dragging. Just another little guy. Got to get the little guys some love. Always got to. I almost brought my full back seat because it's a little bit more comfortable. I wish that seat went up just an extra like 3 inches, which would have been nice because I'm like 6'2". You can see the wind's starting to get a little bit more wavy, so it's hard to track your bait here and get your bait in line to wherever you were casting. I was pretty pumped on this one. This was just like a small rock field. I wish eventually I'm gonna get another. When I get a new phone, my old phone's just gonna be connected to. It's a tub, bud. My old phone's going to be connected to my GPS maps on my Garmin, so I can really show you what I'm looking at and give you some educational whatever, even though there's going to be some haters. Dude, I still love fishing shallow. I love throwing a jig. It's just a tool, man. I'm not looking at fish right here. I did see a couple, but the ones that I did see, they were not active out there, either walleye or whatever else, but I was just trying to find rock. Anything that stuck out like a sore thumb. This was like probably the biggest fish. I gotta do the social media posts, bud. God, these fish look way smaller compared to what I was seeing in person.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. You got a smallmouth. Ready? 10-second awkward pose. My camera fell here. I got to post at 3 seconds. Ta-da. And then just throw it back. Poor fish. I should be more gentle. I had one girl absolutely... Holy shit, that is loud. One girl just absolutely ripped me apart for fish care once. Anyways, I blocked her. She was pretty dumb. Yeah, that's some drama. Just try to keep things positive, dude. Just love fishing. Just a dude that loves to fish and hang out with his dog. Anyways, not an exciting video. I did go to largemouth fishing in the canal here, but they were pretty beat up. I got one on a topwater, which was sick, and I had to throw a glide bait. They were like 2 pounds, but they looked like they were about to explode of eggs. But there was like a ton of largemouth and crappie mixed in, but from the kayaker guy I was talking to, he said, yeah, they got beat up pretty good, but they were on fire 2 days ago on a chatterbait, he said. So anyways, thanks for watching. This is kind of a different take on doing a video. Maybe next time I'll just be more like, hey everybody, hit that like and subscribe button. Oh my god, look at this 2-pounder. And just get all hyped for little fish. This is me basically every day when I'm fishing. I talk a lot to myself. Here I think I'm just tired from traveling and getting, you know, mentally exhausted walleye fishing the other day. So, and not catching a single walleye. Anyways, like and subscribe, I guess, and I'll see you next time, buds.